Hi everybody, Colter Brown here from the Northern Ag Network with your farm and ranch news. We're coming to you from Miles City, where we wrapped up Montana Range Days, a great event teaching youth about the importance of rangeland and range management. We had kids from all over the state attend. One of the highlights was celebrating the accomplishments of this year's Hall of Fame inductee, Bridger FFA instructor Ole Olsen. John Sidaway, who's on the Montana State Steering Committee and a Hall of Fame member himself, told us about some of Ole's accomplishments that made him a great candidate for the Hall of Fame.
Ole is one of those folks that's actually been with Montana Range Days for almost 30 years and has really been a selfless worker to promote range in Montana. And big impact, not only with the kids that he influenced there in Bridger over the years, all the kids that came from Range Days all over Montana, even outside of Montana sometimes.
Ole Olsen has served on the State Steering Committee for over 2 decades, and he's brought hundreds of kids through the Range Days program, and I asked him why this organization means so much to him.
It's so important to tie what's going on in education in the science room with what I teach in the classroom in agriculture, tie those together to show the students what's actually happening on their farm or ranch at home, showing what ecology, biology is doing for us on the farm and ranch. And so that's one of the reasons I think Range Days is just a tremendous program.
Thanks for joining us this morning. We'll see you back here for the markets and check in with Brett McRae.
I wanted to put up a fence to protect my tomato plants. So I grabbed this, and then I did this. But instead of yielding a big crop, I hit a utility line and had to pay $1,200 in repairs. I didn't just lose my pride and joy. I could no longer afford the new stovetop I'd been saving up for. Next time, I'm going to make my free call to 811 before I dig.
Learn from Curry and hundreds of others. Call 811 before you dig.
Welcome back to the Farm and Ranch Report, everybody. Well, we're going to go south, way south of the border, to check in with Brett McRae, who's in Colombia this week on a trade mission with the Montana Department of Agriculture. Montana Pulse Crop Committee Executive Liz Edmondson joins him on the trip because they're promoting Montana pulse crops. And she said this is where producer checkoff dollars prove their worth in building international markets for Montana pulses.
The Montana grower gives 1% of their gross receipt of pulse crop sales to the Checkoff to help build international and domestic marketing relations. Personally, seeing how important those relationships are has just been invaluable to going home and saying to my committee, hey, we're making the right funding decisions. We are doing something very influential with your Checkoff dollars.
Well, a big day in the cattle market as cheaper corn, increasing cash-fed cattle, and Strong's box beef prices are supporting this market. With these strong beef prices, packers cannot afford to decrease the kill, and we'll likely see the cash continue to increase. A big run of weigh-up cows in Miles City this week, with the market continuing to push higher. The bulk of the cows coming in 139 to 147, top of 155. Bulls very strong from 157 to 174, a high at 193. Sheep prices are on the rise. 60 and 70-pound lambs in Newell sold from $239 to $245, and the ewes from $73 to $80. And the downward pressure on the wheat market finally seems to be lessening. Harvest pressure has weighed heavily on the market this month. USDA does release their annual acreage report Friday. That's historically a market mover. Both wheat and corn acres are expected to be narrowly above the March planting estimate. Well, thanks for joining us for this morning's report. I'm Colter Brown, Northern Ag Network.